A little bit warm out there. Didn't exactly get the level of intensity that I was looking for. I thought some of the guys had their first real practice in the heat. We have not had the kind of heat we had today. It was disappointing. I felt like it affected too many guys mentally. But overall, it was a very balanced scrimmage, run, pass, and offense, defense. So I thought that both units made some plays. Offense did some good things on third down, kind of dominated the third down period. Defense won the red area period, which we all know the red area woes we've had. So both sides of the ball competed really hard during that. During the move the field, we did some ones on twos, twos on ones, ones on ones, did a little bit of it all, and did some 2-minute situations. The punting situation, and Cam's punting it pretty good right now. Then the field goal situation is really tight between Rod and David. It'll continue on this week, as will most of the competitions. Go ahead.
When is camp officially over for you guys? Is that now or like tomorrow?
No, camp doesn't end until next week because school starts. But as far as camp, in my mind, camp's not over until a week or 2 weeks out from the game.
Gotcha.
Not at this point. I mean, for the end of the scrimmage next week.
Shot both quarterbacks today.
Yeah, both quarterbacks did some good things. Both of them did a lot of work to do to continue to get where we need to go.
How much, on specialists, how much separation is there between Cam and Marshall? And on kicking, is that something you want a guy going into the year, or would you carry that competition into the season?
Yeah, Cam's ahead of Marshall a little bit, just consistency, direction, hang time, those things, just statistically he's a little bit ahead. And the other one, is neck and neck. It's just tight right now.
We were out there for our little short period, didn't see Jonathan Ledbetter. Has he got something going on? What's his status?
Yeah, he's got a little bit of an illness that he's dealing with and really can't disclose it right now. So, expect to have him back any day.
In terms of Jacob, how did he perform today, specifically with accuracy? I know you look at film and that kind of thing, but did you like what you see or what?
Yeah, I thought he did some good things. Some periods he was better than other periods. He made some really good throws. Made a couple that I thought could have been better decisions. Led the offense well, competed hard, but still going to get better.
How was the defense as far as forcing turnovers, that kind of thing?
There was some great competition out there, some great hits, good tackling for times, and then our backs are, we got big backs that are hard to tackle. I'll be honest with you, I thought that there would have been probably more missed tackles than there actually were, but defense didn't show up for a couple periods where it was just like the heat had gotten to them, and that we can't have that. We've got to push through that. There's going to be times we got to play, and you got to push through it, and didn't think they pushed through it at all times like they should.
Kirby, do you find that, like I think you said at the end of the first scrimmage a year ago, that there was, it's been a year, but there was poor execution, poor tackling. The fact that it sounds like that was good, is that from what you've experienced kind of rare, or is that a...
No, I would say we had some lack of execution out there, especially with the twos. I mean, there was some moments of poor execution, and there was moments of poor tackling attributed to good guys having the ball. I actually thought that usually that first scrimmage we're a little behind tackling wise, that we've tackled a little more this fall camp than we have in the past prior to this practice. So maybe that helped us some, but maybe the conditions, I don't know, because there's some guys out there a little leg weary, didn't have the juice that I thought they should have.
How do you feel about your receivers after the day?
Well, some of those guys made plays. We've got really stiff competition. We're probably only going to get to take maybe 10 guys, and there's like 12 guys competing for those 10 spots. A guy that made a play made a drop. So it's just consistency and performance that I don't think we're getting. And good news is we got another week of camp to get it better. And we've got to get more execution out of them for sure. Too many mental mistakes out of that group.
Was there anyone along the offensive line that kind of stood out today? I know you were talking about how you'll need to see the scrimmage to learn more about the offensive line. Is there anyone who stood out today?
It's hard to say on the offensive line because there's such a core unit in there. To be able to watch the tape, I'd be able to figure that out more. It wasn't like we had a ton of sacks or anything, so nobody stood out the wrong way. But I can't say anybody stood out the right way either.
You
talked about a
yeah.
positive performance in the red zone by the defense. Is that just an improvement over what was kind of a poor area for the defense last year? So is that performance from the defense kind of where you want it to be?
Well, it was one possession. So I mean, we didn't do red area. We did red area one time, and if the other team got in the red area, they had to play it. But we put the ball down there one time and said we're playing red area. They won that battle and held them to a field goal. But we haven't been where we needed to be in the practices prior to, because we got to be in the upper, top 20 in the country to be a good red area defense. And we were 121 last year, so we've emphasized it more. We've done it a lot, but so have we on offense. And they just happened to lose that one, and the defense won it.
You mentioned the other day Isaiah Wilson had his best practice or one of his better practices. Has that continued, at least from an effort standpoint, and what has maybe gone into that?
He hasn't looked as good as he did the day we went inside. I thought he was another guy that as they got in the heat, he kind of wilted a little bit. A lot of guys didn't play with the speed and the tenacity. It's I guess it's the sixth consecutive maybe, or 6 consecutive practice in a row, and it showed a little bit with some of those guys. A little disappointed that they couldn't push through mentally better and push through the heat. And he was a guy that struggled with that a little bit. As far as how he performed, I couldn't say that right now. I just thought he didn't show the same quickness that he showed up with 2 days ago.
What kind of push did the offensive line have in the run game? And Isaiah, when did he not go today?
No, Isaiah did not go today. And what kind of push? It was at times good, and at times very average. Sometimes good, sometimes fired up.
Does Isaiah missing this week? I mean, obviously he's got a lot of experience, but is that any worries that affect cohesion as you all try to make, some decisions on personnel?
I mean, it helps from a standpoint of getting to look at more guys in more spots. The positive, the negative, I don't think we're so effective with him out. And the cohesion part you're talking about, clicking, doing things well, being able to do it. I mean, it wasn't glaring and stuck out today. It wasn't like we just couldn't function. I wouldn't say that at all. I just think with him in there, we're a better unit. But we're getting to look at more guys. Dashawn's having to play over there a lot more, and it's forcing us to play more guys at right tackle. It's forcing us to play guys at left tackle. So there's good and bad in that, and that's the hardest part for me, making the judgment on the offense of the next step to go, along with Jim, of how do you judge it when you got a guy out. You know what I mean? It's hard to measure that. He's not out of practice.
You mentioned a few times that some of the guys are sort of wilting in the heat. Would you say that the team is not quite where it needs to be from a conditioning standpoint at this point, or is it just...
Based on today, yeah, I'd definitely say that. But to their defense, we haven't had a day like this. I mean, we've practiced in rain, shade, and they ran all summer, but they haven't played 70 plays in that kind of heat yet. And I'm glad it was giving us the opportunity to do that. We haven't had a day that I thought was that hot and muggy to go out and practice and really have to push through. The hottest day we've had, I think, was the day we were in shorts, the first couple practices, which were required to be. So I'm very thankful. I find out a lot about guys who's going to go out there and push through it and do what they got to do. So again, hopefully we get some more hot days here in the next week.
Kirby, how has Dashawn Sims responded to moving around? And he's one of the senior guys up there. What kind of camp has he had, and how's he responded to all this moving around?
He's been fine. I mean, Dashawn just takes it in stride. He can play a lot of positions, work at center, right tackle, left tackle, and we all know he's played guard last year. So he's been fine with it. And I think he enjoys the challenges that come with that.
When we spoke with him, he talked about being a little bit bigger and saying that he had put on a little bit of weight. I mean, is he a guy that you can see has improved maybe over what you saw out of him last year?
I mean, Dashawn's done a great job being a leader for us, and he'll continue to do that. He moves spots, can be very versatile, and that's what we've asked him to do. He knows his role in the team, and he's been really competitive at doing that.
Kirby, on Tuesday you talked about the secondary as far as depth being here and there. How did this group do, and then how did the youngsters did they do pretty well today for their first scrimmage?
I reserve judgment until we watch the tape.
Okay.
We've got 7 true freshmen back there that none of them are sticking out, which is not always a good thing. We have a hole from here to here,
Right.
and these guys have got to get up here faster.
And how about the leaders, the guys up here? Did they do pretty well today?
Their leaders are leading. and the leaders are calling guys out and doing what they demand of them. But you know, there's a lot of guys out there that are doing the best job they can with what they've got, and they're competing their tail off and they're leading. But if you're asking specifically about the secondary, I don't know if you're asking about leaders on offense, defense in general. If you're talking about secondary, what are you talking about?
I mean, secondary would be fine.
Yeah, I mean the secondary guys we got. There's a lot of experience back there. Those guys gave up some plays too. We went ones on ones, and they gave up some plays and they made some plays. That's usually what happens in a scrimmage.
That punter is Marshall still affected at all by the injury or anything?
You know, I don't know that. He would tell you that he's probably mentally a little bit affected. I mean, he's still pushing through that. But health-wise, I mean, he's cleared to go. He's 100%. You know, mentally, I think he's done a good job of pushing through it and having confidence and trying to go out and stroke it. The other kids just punt the ball really good. It's not that Marshall's punting bad.
Last question. Were there 2 or 3 standouts you could tell us about today? We didn't obviously get to see it, so relying on you to kind of fill in that blank.
There really wasn't, Mark. I mean, there was nobody that just stood out to me and say, this guy ran it unbelievable. This guy made 8 sacks. This guy caught the ball. This guy intercepted the ball. There wasn't that. You know, it was not a situation where anybody really stood out. I mean,